You may remember last summer when I told you about a Southern California school district that enacted a new policy that would require schools to notify parents if their child at school changes sexual identity or they say they want to be transgender. And under the policy, schools in the Chino Valley United School District would be required to inform parents if a student wanted to use a name or a pronoun that was different from what was on their birth certificate or their official records, or if their child wanted to use a different bathroom. Well, yesterday, a Superior Court judge ruled against this common sense policy. This judge granted an injunction against the school policy, saying that it's unconstitutional. So it's unconstitutional to inform parents as to what their child is doing at school. Phenomenal. Well, joining me now to discuss this is Sonia Shaw. She's the president of the Chino Valley United School District Board. Sonia, welcome back to Washington Watch. We really enjoyed so much having you at the Pray Vote Stand Summit last month, and your courageous stand. It's great to see you again.
Yeah, great to see you, Jody. It was a blessing to be with you guys as well. I always appreciate everything that you guys do.
Well, we are grateful for people like you. Let's jump into this decision that came out yesterday. It's a temporary injunction that is taking place. But give me your reaction to yesterday's decision.
Absolutely. I mean, initially, you're kind of disappointed, but not surprised. We knew this is going to be a long battle. Of course, you want those little wins, but I also feel like, God's exposing these things to more and more people on how the government literally is overreaching and deciding when parents have a right and when they don't. So to me, yesterday was just the beginning of the process. So I'm very hopeful in the long haul. And I know in the long haul, we're going to stay committed and we are going to continue to fight for parental rights and what is right.
Yeah, and that's a great point there, Sonia. And there's a lot going on. Look, as American citizens, we all have rights. But what is taking place here, it seems to me, and I want you to explain this to me better, but it seems like the judge is granting student privacy over parental rights, that one takes precedent over the others, and in this case, the parents have to be, they take a back seat, quite frankly.
Yeah, and what's interesting is the judge said he didn't want to touch privacy. He was actually going more on the fact that this policy was discriminatory, which we don't believe so, because in a long history of school boards all over California, there is organizations that, they recommend certain policies to the school board, which included the one that we had previously that kept secrets from parents. So I find it very interesting that they're allowed to have these kind of policies directed towards that, but we're not allowed to have the policies that say, hey, we're building back trust. We don't agree with those policies that were previously adopted, and we're going to build the trust and have transparency on all the issues. We're not going to pick and choose as the government did. And parents, we're bringing you back in the picture because it's obvious that our attorney general is very adamant that when you drop your kids off at school, he has a choice and a right to know what you guys have a right to. And 82% of parents and I would say voters in California, according to certain surveys, wouldn't agree that we lose our rights at the public school gates. That is absolutely insane. I've never spoke to a parent till this day that says, when I drop my kid off, I expect the school to keep secrets from me. That's just not the reality.
No, it's not the reality at all. And parents all across America are totally on board with you in the battle that you have with this. It seems to actually go a step further in this, that not only does the government seem to want to give preference over the students' privacy over parents, but it seems as though the government is wanting to step into the role of parents and take over that position. Is that your sense as well, that this is government pushing parents out of the way and government becoming the overseer of the child?
Jody, I couldn't agree with you more. It absolutely is them trying to step in and say, hey, parents, we got it from here. It's our right, which we all know it's not, to parent your child from this point on. I think that's absolutely insane, because at the end of the day, the parents have the constitutional and fundamental right to the upbringing of their child. And I think the school, I wouldn't even say schools. I think that, our attorney general is forgetting that. And I think it's really sad that they're wasting time and our taxpayer money to fight us against what we have a right to. I think that the government, honestly, the bigger government, our state, local elected officials and appointed, are overstepping their reach. We have local control for a reason. Why is it that we're not breaking a law and yet they're stepping in and telling us, no, you can't? Because all we're trying to do is bring the parents back into the picture. We think that that is so extremely important, especially in decisions like this that a child is making in their lives.
Absolutely, and especially too with the breakdown of the family that we have, we need to be encouraging parents to step in, more involvement with their children. All right, we knew back last, goodness, probably July, that this policy was far from over, that the battle was going to keep going on and on and on. So, your opinion with the decision from yesterday? What's next? Where do we go from here?
As it stands, obviously, we're going to continue to fight. We are going to seek our attorneys, advice and what to do next. But from what I hear next is to do an appeal, and we'll continue the process. We should be able to have that appointment in February to give us a date for a trial, because ultimately, I think what's going to happen when this goes to trial in front of a jury, that's where we will get our big win, because we are not breaking any laws, and we can go back to the Constitution again. The 14th Amendment is very clear, and parents know that they do have a right according to the Constitution. So until we get in front of the jury and present all the facts, I think we're just going to have to keep pushing through and keep, encouraging the public to realize this is the state that we're in. This is not okay. This is not healthy. And we need to bring awareness to that. I think by awareness, you're also bringing families in closer, because the parents are going to know that there is some kind of blockage there. And I know I've talked to many parents, and they're saying they're bringing their children in closer, having more in-depth conversations about what's going on in the classroom. And I think that's beautiful. That's exactly what should be happening. So it is bringing people in together, and that's where I find the hope in all of this.
Well, Sonia Shaw, thank you so much. I couldn't agree with you more. And the fact that a judge would say that the policy is unconstitutional for parents to be informed and involved is just mind-boggling. I want to thank you for coming on the program. I want to thank you for standing up in this battle and for continuing this battle. Sonia, it's so important. You were someone who saw a need to become a positive influence. You stepped up the plate. Now you're the school board chair, and you're doing a phenomenal job. Thank you so much for joining us on Washington Watch.
I appreciate you, Jody. Thank you so much for the encouragement.